When I first reviewed the P1 back in 2020, I invited a number of family members around to toast my first ever brew, the Public House IPA. If you saw that, you'll remember...
Hoppy.
Not now, ma'am. You'll remember that they all...
It's like having your own pub in your own back kitchen.
What's going on?
It is good, I like it.
Enough. In short, they drank it all and I didn't have any left when I was doing my bit to camera. Not this time, my friends. No, no, no. Space Hopper, the double IPA, freshly brewed and tasting just as good, if not better than ever. Cheers. The Pinter one was revolutionary. A game changer. I absolutely loved it. At the time, I didn't feel it, but looking back now, I can see just what it was possible to be. The original Apple Macintosh and the modern day iMac, the Wright brothers' maiden flight and the A380, the original Mini Cooper and today's BMW. Yeah, okay, all new versions aren't exactly that impressive, but now, Pinter 1 makes way for the new addition to the lineup, Pinter 2. And when I say improved, we're not just talking about small changes. Yeah, okay, it looks generally the same. Long body with a tap at the front and Brewing Duck, but inside the nitty-gritty has been tweaked and in many areas completely redesigned. Take the tap for instance. On the P1 we had a short tube that just sat inside the vessel at the front, acting like the gatekeeper to your fresh brew. When opened, out came the brew, sometimes a little fast, sometimes trickling, depending on how much was inside and, well, how much pressure had been left building up inside the pinter. Now the tap reaches all the way to the back, in which is coiled tubing, giving your fresh brew a much longer way to travel. Why? Well, because the further it has to travel to get to the front and out, the less momentum it should have at the exit point and thus less of a possibility of volatility. I like that. Working in tandem with that, you no longer have to open the carbonation dial on the back before your first pour when you tapped, or any subsequent pour after that. This was always fun and like opening up a really shaken up bottle of Coke. Slowly eking the dial open and allowing that built up pressure to slowly exit without taking any of your fresh brew with it. Now, the long journey from the back helps and ensures that the whole vessel stays sealed and therefore keeps your brew fresher for longer. Pinter calls it the fresh dispense technology. I love a bit of sciencey terminology. That said about the insides, the outside looks stunning. The casing is now powder-coated aluminium alloy. It is also available as a polished aluminium without any powder coating at an extra premium. And while that does look insanely pretty, I'm loving the powder coating look and, well, the feel. This is the flame red colour and yeah, I'm a fan. On the back, we no longer have the old carbonation dial, which had the options of carbonated, uncarbonated and off. We now have a scale of setting carbonation from 1 to 5, these corresponding to different levels of carbonation depending on what you're brewing at the time. The press packs now come with the suggested carbonation dial setting printed on them, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be quite the manipulator with future presses and just what can be achieved in this brewing beauty. You just know the beer nerds, formerly known as the Brewing Geeks, are going to play a lot with that. Just below the dial is the hopper, and while we haven't got our hands on any of the new style press packs just yet, that's where you're going to be able to add fresh hops. Yeah, fresh hops in addition to the purifier, yeast and fresh press will be shipped with the new selection of press packs Pinter has developed for the P2. Exciting brews to come, so make sure you subscribe to the channel for when we start to play with those bad boys. The final standout for me is the Brewing Duck. This is a thing of beauty. Gone once more is the plastic of the P1 and it comes in such a robust feeling aluminium alloy dock. It's heavier. Well, of course it's heavier, it's an aluminium alloy, but it's reassuringly heavier and the docking system locks nice and snugly, but not with a snap, if you get what I mean. It's more like a thud, and the undocking from it feels much more efficient too. In the P1, you'd sometimes feel like you were forcing to the point of almost snapping, depending on, well, how much pressure was built up inside. That, with the expansion that was possible due to the plastic build, made undocking, well, almost impossible. Not impossible, but almost. You felt like you were really forcing it. With this, nah, It's just reassuring. With the P2 dock, it docks and undocks nice and easily. Love that. So no tapping from the back has meant a new design tap, not just inside but also out. You don't just pull the tap forward anymore. The tap defaults in a locked position pressed down. You unlock it by pulling it up and allowing it to come forward. I can see the benefits of this system and just why it needs to be like this. However, it does make me less likely to allow anyone else to pour from this, you know, like a family evening or a mate's round. You can just imagine your rusty uncle walking up to your beautifully new P2 and just grabbing hold of the handle and pulling it forward. In the locked position, I'm pretty sure that would take the whole thing with it. Just stay away from my pinter. So how's the beer? Well, there's space opera in here, as you can see. If you saw my first impressions video, you'll have seen me getting that brew on. Card up here and link in the description if you missed that. Brewed for 6 days in the end, no problems there. Cold crashed in the pinter fridge. No, you can't buy them. Yes, they sent us one, and yes, I'm very lucky. And then into the fridge to condition. Now this is a shorter body than the P1 with the intention for it to fit in more fridges pointing out. The P1 didn't fit in our fridge. Will the P2 fare better? No, sadly. Although if I took out the top bit of the door, which holds all my condiments, gotta love a condiment, I'm confident, not condiment, it would have actually fit. However, we've a beer fridge, so in it went for the final condition. Total conditioning, including the cold crash, was 6 days. Oh, by the way, if you're sitting there and thinking, you should have brewed and conditioned Space Opera for longer than that, yeah, you're absolutely right. However, I really wanted to get this out, drink it, taste it, make up my mind with regards to P2 and produce this video. So that's why I have brewed short and tapped short. Now here's a lovely little thing to add with regards to this tap. Now, when it's full, you bring it to 45 degrees and that's how it pours out normally. When it's almost empty, you need that little bit more of a push, remember with the P1? So what you'll do is you'll pull the tap all the way to the 90 position and it kind of opens up the baffles, as it were, in the back and just gives it more of a punch. Uses more of, or what's left of that carbonation, that gas that's built up in there. Remember, we don't tap at the back anymore. So all the way through you pouring this brew, there's still the pressure within there. That's how it's working now. But say you want more of a head. I've obviously let that settle while I've been doing this video. So I'm going to unlock it, little finger on the top and pull up. That kind of seems to work for me. And if you pull it almost like a pinch, if you imagine like a garden hose, what's this? Just a little pinch, tiny little pinch, just at the top. And I get my head back on my glass. I think I may have left it a little bit too long and it almost looks like an Erdinger. But just want to point out for those P1 guys, first tap in the P2, no dripping at all. If you're still here, I'd just like to say thank you very much. I had absolutely no idea how popular my first ever review of the Pinter was going to be. Pinter was very, well, it wasn't well known at the time. And I just got one and thought, oh, I wonder if I could make a video of this. And I'd just like to say thank you so much for all the new subscribers, all the lovely comments, all the likes, all the views on that video and all the subsequent videos I've done. I'm going a little bit off script here, but it's been quite a testing year for all of us. I guess we're towards the end of the second year that we've kind of had COVID hanging over us. And I'd just like to congratulate Pinter, formerly the Greater Good Fresh Brewing Company, in getting a V2 out as well. Well done to them. They have expanded massively since I first did the first video. I'm pretty sure, I was speaking to one of the guys at Pinter, and I'm pretty sure they had about 6 or 7 personnel at the time, and I think they're either at 300 or way over 300, maybe even more now, and they've got new digs and all that, and just the community's growing. So But with that in mind, and I know people will be watching this probably into 2022, but right now it's December 2021. And I'd just like to say from me, not on behalf of anybody else other than me here at Musing of a Man, cheers, Merry Christmas when it comes, and a great, great new year. The day before New Year's Eve, I'm turning 40. I am not growing old gracefully. Cheers. Oh God, I love space opera.